Hello my Dolly darlings, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a new part in the series of Reborning for beginners, and it's going to be veining. Now this is a really hard step to show really close on camera, but I hope you guys get the gist of it. I'm going to be working on this twin A today and adding some veining to her head and her limbs, so I hope you guys enjoy watching. Now, I already have some veining color mixed here, but to make your own, you'll need your paint thinner, of course, and you're also going to need your brushes. I like to use these sizes shown here, but you can use any size you like. You don't want to use a brush too big, of course, because veins are generally pretty tiny. And you're also going to need vein blue from Bountiful Baby. If you want to mix your own paint, you're more than welcome to do that, but if you're a beginner, this one will work just fine for what you need. Here I'm just adding a little more of the vein blue to my mix, as it wasn't as opaque as I wanted it to be. You want this color to be fairly translucent. If it's too thick and opaque, it's not going to look natural. So what I usually like to do is swish the paint around on my palette and see the opacity of it. And you always want to test out your color on your paper towel before applying it to your doll. Once you're happy with the color, you can go ahead and begin. And starting with the foot, we're inserting our dowel here to give us more support while we paint. I typically like to start with the feet and work my way up. So when you're painting these veins, you kind of want to replicate trees. My favorite person to watch for a veining tutorial is Custom Doll Baby. She has a really great tutorial. You guys can jump over there and check that out. I will link it in the description box. You want to make sure that none of your lines are straight, keep them wavy. You can look at your own feet or hands for inspiration on the shape of your veins, but mostly, I mean, just have fun with it. Keep your color fairly thin, that way if you do not like something you applied, it'll be easier for you to take it off. And then with a mop brush, I'm just fanning out the ends of my veins so that they sort of melt and fade into the skin and there are no harsh lines. You shouldn't be able to tell where they start and end, and that is the goal here. And now moving on to the arms and hands here. I like to use my smaller brush and only my smaller brush for this area, as it is such a tiny area. I don't want any bigger bulging veins here. So using this tiny brush, I'm going to start at the hands and work my way up. And now moving on to my favorite part, which is of course the head and face. Here I'm going to be using the slightly bigger brush. I do want to accentuate a few of the bigger veins usually shown in a newborn's head. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go at it. You guys can kind of see where I'm placing these veins. And there are lots of nice veining guides out there as well. You can do a little Google image search. Even Pinterest, I believe, has some really good guides, so you might want to check that out as well. And once I've applied all the veins, I just like to go ahead and apply the same blue to my blue shading areas that we did in the previous videos, just to accentuate them and save myself some steps later on. So you can do this or you cannot. It's totally optional. It's totally up to you. And that is it for this part of the tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, or anything of that nature, feel free to comment down below. And if you'd like to see more of us, you can follow us on Instagram at xdollydarlings.